Welcome, School of Computing students. Today, we are shifting your mindset from vulnerable targets to prepared systems defenders. When a computer starts acting sluggish or strange pop-ups take over the screen, the common reaction is to say the machine has a virus. Attackers actively exploit this specific vocabulary mistake. This diagram illustrates the true taxonomy. Malware, a combination of malicious and software, is the overarching superset. A virus is merely one specific subset located under that umbrella. Looking closely at the virus subset, we find it has two mandatory traits. First, it is strictly parasitic. It cannot exist on its own. It must physically inject its code into a benign host file. Second, it relies entirely on human interaction to spread, remaining dormant until triggered. When a user mistakenly executes that infected host file, the hidden code runs first. It rapidly copies itself to a secondary clean file, and then passes control back to the original program to conceal its tracks. If a systems architect builds a defense strategy only anticipating host-dependent viruses, they leave their perimeter completely blind to modern autonomous threats. This network map shows a standalone predator, a worm. It autonomously scans and fires malicious packets to replicate across connected nodes. Because they self-propagate, their spread is exponential. In 2010, Stuxnet crossed air-gapped networks to infiltrate an industrial cluster, physically destroying uranium centrifuges. Let's test this logic. If a UUM lab subnet is fully compromised in 30 minutes, without a single user clicking a file or opening an attachment, what type of malware are you analyzing? You are looking at a worm. We move to the Trojan, which relies on social engineering and disguise. A user willingly accepts appealing software, but the facade dissolves, revealing a dropper program slipping past the firewall. Inside, remote access Trojans establish a tether to an external server, allowing data extraction. The technical distinction is clear. While worms exploit flaws in network architecture, Trojans bypass technical controls by exploiting human psychology. This is digital extortion. Ransomware uses math-equal encryption to transform documents into unreadable data blocks, locked by a cryptographic key. Evolving into double extortion, the malware siphons a copy of the data to the dark web before locking, threatening to publicly leak it. Other threats prioritize silent surveillance over loud extortion. Spyware installs itself invisibly to collect information, through keyloggers and environmental monitoring, silently recording keystrokes, webcam feeds, and microphone audio. The apex of stealth is the rootkit. This pyramid shows the OS divided into user, kernel, and firmware layers. Bypassing applications, a rootkit embeds deeply into the kernel. When an antivirus runs, the rootkit intercepts the request, returning a fake all clear. Once an operating system is compromised at the kernel or firmware level, the system's basic reality is corrupted. The only reliable remediation is a complete physical wipe. Relying on a single, outdated point of antivirus is futile against these diverse threats. This diagram maps out a modern, multi-layered architectural defense strategy built on three specific pillars: prevention, detection, and response. Let's examine the prevention pillar. We must implement behavioral endpoint protection that watches for anomalous actions rather than just known signatures. We secure access using hardware-based, phishing-resistant multi-factor authentication. Finally, we implement the 3-2-1 backup structure to insulate data against ransomware. No prevention is perfect, so we must train ourselves to recognize detection anomalies. A bypass often signals itself through suddenly disabled security suites, browser hijacking, or inexplicable network traffic slowing the system down. When an anomaly is confirmed, your immediate response protocol is isolation. You must instantly sever the physical network connection or disable the Wi-Fi. This cuts the malware off from external control and halts any lateral movement or data exfiltration. Final remediation happens offline. We execute deep system scans and perform clean device password resets. For deep rootkit or ransomware infections, we rely on the nuke and pave strategy, completely reinstalling the operating system from scratch. Understanding the true taxonomy of malicious software turns a vulnerable target into a professional defender. My challenge to you, the School of Computing, is to take one specific defense protocol we covered today and implement it into your own network architecture.